welcome to Powerline. I'm your host, Sky Knight, and let's talk kings. So for you people, kings, what does that mean? Well, there's only a few kings. My deck today that I'm bringing to you guys is none other than the King's Vanguard himself. That's right, Ezzell. I have a deck profile of the King of Vanguards, Ezzell, which is the Royal Paladin build. Now, this is a deck that I have completely made strictly for fun. As you'll see, some of the cards in there are particularly not the best. However, I laugh whenever I can preview this among my friends or play it among other people. I have a lot of fun playing this deck. So without further ado, let me, Sky Knight, show you my King Among Kings deck. For my grade zeros, let's start with my Forerunner. I choose Wingal Brave as my starter. He is actually extremely important to the deck. I focus a lot of my grade 2s around him, as you will come to see. So by having him in the deck enables me to thin the deck out whenever he boosts and hits the blaster in front of him. It's just really good card to have. It's just an amazing card for me to have, and it works wonders with the deck, especially if it gets retired. There's so many different things I can do with Wingal Brave, so this is my choice for my Forerunner. Next, I go with the 8 critical triggers, 4 heals, and 4 draws, with my draw triggers being, of course, Margal. Since my Vanguard is Ezzell, it's actually really good to have the Margals in so I can call it to the field, put it into the soul, and get the power boost from it. Also, one of my critical triggers is Future Knight Liu, because nostalgia. And there you have it. Those are my choices for my grade zeros. Now on to my grade 1s. I have 4 copies of Holy Knight Guardian. This is the perfect guard with the ability. I choose this one because it enables me to unflip damage. So this is why I have her at 4. There's no really other reason why. It's just she unflips damage. That's pretty much her ability. Next, I have 2 Lake Maiden Liens. This is the 7k draw discard. I really like this card because it helps run through my deck and fuels my deck for Legion, which is primarily what this deck does. So I have her at 2, and she sits behind the Vanguard, which is pretty much her main role, just sit behind Vanguard and draw a card, since Ezzell can't be boosted when it is Legioned, or if I have Alfred there for some really random reason. Next, I run 2 Grynngal Seekers. This card is there purely for its ability when paired with Blaster Blade Seeker. I really just want to draw one, put one to the deck, and unflip damage. That's pretty much its reason why it's there. No other real reason other than its ability. Last, I run 4 copies of Gigantech Shot Putter. This I would use as a finisher. When I need to push for game and I need to add those extra numbers, this card is purely there just to give me those numbers, because I have to sacrifice it, and it creates that open spot, which is not really beneficial, but the 5,000 it matters, and I can just replace it since it's Royal Paladins. I'm going to be superior calling anyway. So, free space is free space to only be called for something else, especially when I have Ezzell to fill the field one more time. So, push for numbers, Gigantech Shot Putter. Let's go. And for my grade 2 units, let's start with Knight of Twin Sword. This card is interesting because when it boosts, I get to call any grade 2 that's not him from my deck. And guess who gets called? That's right, a blaster card, because this is a blaster deck filled with kings. So I chose that because it just synergizes with this deck extremely well. So I run him at 3 copies. That's his role. Superior call the other guys. Next, I run 2 Blaster Blade Seekers. Now, you're thinking, he doesn't work with your deck, you don't have a Seeker Vanguard. You're right. Absolutely right. But I made this deck strictly to call as many Blaster Blades as I can, and this is what I choose. And also, Grynngal Seeker, it pairs with this card. So I get the ability, if it hits, to Yeah, I get the ability. That's all that matters. Next, I run 4 copies of Blaster Blade Spirit. Since I'm going to be superior calling from the deck a lot, I'm running this one at 4. It makes sense. When it's superior called from the deck to the field, I get to kill a Rigard. Great card, have it at 4. That's all there is to it. And lastly, I run at 3 Blaster Blades, no abilities. That's right, no abilities. Why? Because I can. And so if I'm going to make this a fun and unique deck, I'm going to make it with the Blaster Blade with no abilities. Because it just confuses my opponents, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, you can run the regular Blaster Blade in here with the ability, and it works just fine. But having the no ability, now that takes skill. And there you have it. That's my grade 2 lineup. For my grade 3 units, let's start with 4 King of Knights Alfred. This is the Legion mate to my Legion heir. His ability is extremely interesting while he's paired up with Ezzell, which is why I wanted to make this deck. And it hits such an interesting type of numbers when you have a full field, which is just like Alfred. And his ability, the second ability to counterblast 3 to go fetch any card from your deck, can be useful since Ezzell's ability really only provides a Soul Blast and a Personal Blast. So it works with those two both on the field at the same time. But let's get to the main portion of this profile, which is the King of Knights Vanguard himself, Ezzell, which I run at 4. What an interesting card. By Soul Blasting 2, I'm able to search for a grade 2, 1, and 0. So immediately, if I Legion back Wingal Brave because he died somehow, I'm going to get him back. Or I can go get back the Margals. So my grade 0 lineup is already filled. In my grade 1 lineup, I can pretty much go grab anyone. I'm probably going to get Lien to put behind the Vanguard, seeing as how that spot should never be taken. And for my grade 2s, probably going to get some form of a blaster, because that's what I want to be calling at all times. I want to be superior calling a blaster at any moment. Probably it's going to be Spirit, since Blaster Blade no ability doesn't have an ability for me to use, which is hilarious. So those are pretty much what's going to be called at all times. What's really interesting, though, is I can rewrite and get multiple Legions off with this card, especially since I'm able to recycle the Legions back into the deck with his ability. I mean, it's an afterthought, so I have to rewrite one more time. It'll work. I know it just works, especially because you're Soul Blasting 2, which means you get both of the Legion pair out. And so there you have it. Those are my grade 3 lineup. And for my Stride units, I'm just going to put it at Gablade and Saint Blow Dragon. I'm running both of those at 4. Those are going to be my Stride units. I don't think I really need to talk about them because they're the Royal Paladin Strides. They're the best ones that work, and you guys already probably know what they do, so I don't really have to explain my choices. And there you have it. That is Sky Knight's build to his King of Vanguard stack. That's right. And I know you see a ton of the choices in there, and a lot of people don't agree with it. And you know what? With a few changes of this deck, it actually could be competitive. For instance, if I change Ezzell into Alfred Seeker, the deck actually would run a bit more smoother. Also, if I replace the no ability Blaster Blade with a Blaster Blade with an ability, the deck would actually have a bit more killing power. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section below. If there's a deck that you would like myself or Kaiser to profile, also leave it in the comment section below. Thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day.